Welcome to Puppet Opinions, where I, the man behind the digital curtain, express my views on life through the antics of little animated characters. Pulling rapidly to puppets, say they're cute. Today's episode is Voting! Bring your friendliness. Now, any discussion of voting these days tends to involve fringe politics, which get more media attention than actual results, and certainly more attention than they deserve. But in an increasingly divided country, fringe politics are becoming more important, as people either get riled up and believe, or pander to the crowd. Also, America has a pretty low turnout rate of eligible voters, maybe because people don't care or they don't think their vote will count. But one way or another, the fanatical fringe people always show up, and that makes them an even larger portion of the people selecting who's in charge of your country. Now, let's look at that phrase for a second. Your country. People are always saying we need to rally and support your country, our country, my country. The problem with that phrasing is that it can imply not just something you have a say in, but something you own exclusively. The United States is way too diverse to be anybody's our country, and trying to take exclusive control isn't what this country is about. Democracy is an inclusive system where everyone gets a say. It can be less satisfying to have to compromise with everyone, but if we start picking sides all the time, you're always going to be in some minority. The Founding Fathers wanted a country without this kind of political, philosophical, and religious strife. A country without all the angry sects. Sects. Oh, that word is still funny. Or it never was. So, in the face of an increasingly crazy and divided country, I think we should all show up to fight the fringe and bring our friendliness. At least, that's but wait, we're not done yet. I've got a few specific issues I'd like to bring up. You may find yourself voting on these things in the near future, and I think they deserve a moment of contemplation. First up, let the gays be gay. That is, let homosexuals be happy. In particular, let them get married. You know, I thought long and hard about how to argue this. I thought about bringing up the scientific explanations and lack of devil worship. I thought about pointing to the flaws in religious arguments, the life stories that show it's clearly not a choice, the lack of historical precedent to deny it, the idea that we should all just get along. And honestly, I just give up. Those arguments have already been stated in a million other places, and I don't feel obligated to repeat them. Homosexuality is just one of those things that makes some people go, ugh! And when people go, ugh, they tend not to listen to reason. For all of you out there who are against gays getting married, I have only this to say. Get over it. This is the 21st century and you've been offered more than enough reason. This prejudice is unacceptable. Get educated and get over it. Really, that's as politely as I can put it. Next topic. Want regularity? Regulate. We've recently had economic troubles in this country, and other places, and some of the loudest voices say we should remove government regulations in order to fix things. Regardless of how you feel about Big Brother telling you how, where, and on what you can spend your money, economic oversight is something you should always embrace. A laissez-faire economy is like playing a game with no referee. Have you ever played a big game with lots of players and big stakes and no referee? It devolves pretty quickly. Regulation is one of those things government is just perfect for, stopping behavior so stupid only most of us would do it. And lastly, a personal favorite, find space for space. That is, you should always want to support America's space exploration program. Why? In 1903, the Tour de France, an internationally renowned athletic event, was founded. Chances are, though, you didn't know that, because in other bicycle-related news that same year, two brothers in America invented the airplane! If you were to list the highlights of that year, would you really let the Wright brothers take a back seat to the wheelie race? The same goes for 1969. Are we going to look back 100 years from now and remember that as the year the last episode of Star Trek aired? Or as the year humans first set foot on another celestial body? I hope that was a rhetorical question. The point is, unless you're using the money you save to cure cancer, paying for the space program is probably more important in the grand scheme of things. In summation, vote where the fringe wins, be friendly about it, let gay people marry, keep regulations on the economy, spaceships are cool. At least, that's my opinion. This episode is brought to you by the wonderful people who donated on Kickstarter.com. Hooray for crowdsourcing!